yeah, I always wanted to work on an aquatic game. And there's something kind of calming about it as well. Like, I worked on a very high octane action adventures, whether it was something like Tomb Raider or Heavy Sword or Mirror's Edge, kind of high octane, quite cinematic storytelling, something a little bit slower and gentler, and kind of about hope in a kind of environment that feels just a bit of a happy place for me. Psychologically, I needed that as a human being at that moment. Like, the world is very difficult and quite dark in places at the moment, and having kind of happy place game to work on was brilliant, really. So Life Below being about nurturing the reef, caring for it, building creation, kind of influenced the way I wrote, because I was thinking about things being more hopeful, and not just hopeful for the reef itself, life of the reef, but for characters that think they can't do things, characters that think their time has passed, but so hopeful for the environment, but also hopeful as characters, as people. Like, they're showing that there is always a way forward. There's always something you can do to kind of help, to nurture, to change your circumstance. And I think that's quite a powerful message, not just about the environment, but who we are as human beings and how we live our lives. So the reason I came up with Pontus is because I wanted Thalassa to have someone to talk to that was on the same level as her, not like her boss, but a colleague, to have a growing relationship with, and to like open up and to share with in a way that she's not going to do with Gaia, her boss, and that someone would have some experience of kind of being in the field. Like, Gaia is the kind of overseer. She doesn't get involved in the trenches. And I wanted a character that had some experience and had been through some things in the past which you have been a challenge for them and have been very difficult, and you find that out as you go through the narrative. But yeah, to give someone for Thalassa, to riffle, and to someone to like enhance her journey, and for her to enhance Pontus's journey. And yeah, he just really filled a gap that I thought was there. That really, he allowed me to bring out Thalassa's character and give him his own journey as well. There are definitely a few moments between Pontus and Thalassa where they've reached more of an understanding, and Thalassa is supporting Pontus and telling them here that he still has value, that she couldn't have done it without him, and she kind of understands more about what he's been through and his what's going on under the surface with him. And that kind of idea of connection and support. It's not a love story. It's not romance. It is about two characters supporting each other through kind of difficult times and coming to an understanding. And it's strength through difference and diversity. And there are certain moments and kind of lines where they're expressing that to each other that I really enjoyed writing. We all know that we have not been the best to our seas, and there are a lot of places that are trying to balance that out a bit and try and put right some of the things that us humans have done wrong. So if it on one hand, if players are kind of more inclined towards getting involved with things that support the seas and kind of the seas are our birthplace. We're not great at looking after our seas. We're not great at looking after it, and kind of thinking about our environment more, because that's all we have. We just have this pale blue dot, and we kind of need to look after it. But it's also a method of that there is always a way forward. There is a way of rebuilding, and that can it can be a reef, or it can be some other aspect of your life. Like the idea of rebuilding and renewing and facing your problems and finding a way forward. It's not unique to this game, and you can use it to apply to lots of different things. When it comes to human-made disasters, it's very subtle. Like they don't really talk about the surface dwellers, but there's the extra bit of connection with the players. So the characters might talk about like the strange debris floating above them, and how it's kind of causing problems on the reef because it's raining down all kind of debris. And we as players know that these are like, the plastic islands and things like that, that are causing so much problems. No one's saying that. No one is wagging fingers about that. You're being put into the perspective of someone that's having to deal with the consequences of dealing, rather than, finger wagging naughty humans. It's just like, okay, this is someone having to deal with a crisis, like anyone would. So it's sort of, contextualizing it and thinking about like how denizens of a reef would deal with this sort of things.